Yo, how's it going, boys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're gonna be talking about one of the couple of the hardest matchups for Alchemist in all of Dota 2. So, if you know that I played Alchemist, I'm a master tier Alchemist player, and I know, please don't judge, but yeah, I am a master tier Alchemist player with over 780 games. 60% win rate. I can safely say that I know I played against every single matchup as Alchemist in my entire life. And I just want to say that the hardest hero to counter Alchemist with, it's either that his entire game plan counters you or they counter you in lane. Generally, if the game plan counters you, it has to be their entire team. There's not a single hero that counters Alchemist in like a game plan wise. You can play Lycan, you can push down towers, you can play heroes that snowball very hard like a Storm that ganks your team or whatnot. But at the end of the day, if they have like a farming anti-mage and they have like a farming PL and your team has like some kind of making space hero like a Timbersaw, you're gonna be fine. So the only heroes that will counter Alch is the heroes that counter him in lane. If you want to counter Alchemist's game plan, which is farm AFK for the first 20 minutes, then your entire team on the enemy team needs to be like that. If there's a hero or two that doesn't do that, then Alchemist has no problem just out farming them. So what heroes counter Alchemist the most in lane? So heroes like Monkey King, I'm literally gonna spawn them in. Ursa does not counter Alchemist. The worst heroes are Monkey King, Morphling, Meepo, and let's see what else is there. Huskar is not even that bad anymore because Huskar is so weak now. Shadow Fiend, Queen of Pain to a certain extent, and nowadays silencers are actually really hard. Razor, oh yeah, Razor is a big one too, obvious reasons. DP, not really. All these other ones are kind of Storm is an honorable mention. AA also counters you, and maybe Troll. Viper, not really anymore per se. I'll say the biggest ones are these are the most cancerous ones. If you're up against these heroes, you're really kind of fucked. Well, so let's rank them from like strongest to best to worst, right? So the easiest one is probably gonna be your QoP right here. Right, QoP is the easiest one. Up next is Monkey King, and then I'm talking about like good players, right? And then Razor, and then Huskar. Actually, no, Huskar is probably like in the current patch. Huskar is probably like right here after Monkey King, and then Razor, and then Morphling, and then Shadow Fiend and Meepo. So the reason why I rank it like this is very simple, guys. So what does QoP do? So QoP wants to harass you from range, right? And then she has Dagger, which is extremely annoying for Alch, because you know, slows, damages you over time and whatnot. But this is negated if you buy 3 selves in lane. I'm not even kidding, guys. Just buy tangos and selves. You don't care if you waste gold, right? Because you can get more gold later on. So you don't care if you're spending like 50 gold on selves. And as long as you're selving up, once you get level 6, you can dispel like everything, right? You can dispel everything with your Q. So if the QoP daggers you again, you can dispel it off, and that's fine. And generally most of the damage, unless if she bursts you with the teammate, you're not gonna die. You're just gonna heal back up. Same thing with Monkey King. The thing about Monkey King is that this hero, you can't really buy selves against him, because if he gets like a couple levels in Jingu and his Boundless Strike and he has like phase boots, what he's gonna do is that he's gonna hit you, and then you're gonna have to back away, because once he gets a couple stacks on you, he does this and he slams dunk you, and then he can literally dive you under tower. And if you don't have a support that can TP in and save you right away, you die. So that's like a big reason why Monkey King counters you, because you see how Monkey King against QoP you can buy selves. Against Monkey King you can't buy selves because it doesn't work. He kills you anyways. He can kill you from 100 to full if you're not like chemical raged. And the only reason why Monkey King is easy is because you can buy phase boost and windlace, and then pop your chemical rage, and your movement speed is fast enough so you can run away from him. He can't catch up to you, because this also increases your movement speed, by the way. Huskar is an honorable mention too, because Huskar is kind of like Viper, but is more deadly because this is like the spears don't cost him mana, so he's really not losing anything, and you're not killing the guy, right? The only thing that you can say is that yeah, your acid spray deals physical damage. He has low armor, but if he's smart, he's just gonna stand out of it and keep hitting you because he's a ranged hero. He's gonna keep getting stacks on you. Once he's level 6, the only way you don't die is like this. So he jumps on you, right? And then you pop your ult to dispel the slow, and then you run away from the guy, or else you're gonna fucking die. You just can't kill him. He's free farming, so QoP is generally free farming, but it's hard for her to kill you. Monkey King is gonna have a free lane, so all of these heroes are gonna have an insanely free lane. The reason why Razor is that he's gonna steal your damage, so he's gonna kill you first of all, because minus armor from his ult, he has a slow and he steals your damage. And 2, even if he doesn't kill you, you're gonna have no damage to last it creeps anymore. You can't really farm jungle, so it's impossible for you to farm after he steals all your damage. So that's like also really bad. Morphling. So Morphling is this honorable mention. Well, not honorable mention, but Morphling is a hard counter, because if you let a Morph have a free lane, Morph is gonna be unkillable in the mid game. Like, this shit is broken, dude. This shifting thing is like completely autistic sometimes. Like, you actually just can't kill the guy. If he's a good Morphling, he will just never die to you. I'm talking about like Morphlings that are actually good at Morphlings, not the people who randomly shift to full agi and die in 1 second. But as an Elk, Acid Spray doesn't really kill Morphling. Like, yeah, you can harass him level 1, but that's about it. The Morph can man up to you. He's just gonna keep right clicking you while you're trying to farm, and if you try to fight him back, he's just gonna shift to strength. And I died. Yeah, as you can see, Morphling does a shit ton of damage, guys. But yeah, as I was saying, the Morphling is very deadly. He gets Ethereal Blade. He can't really mess with you. He can dive you on their towers. He can push down your tower. He can gank your team. A Morphling that plays very active. Shadow Fiend, another thing. Why Shadow Fiend counters you? Well, because 1, minus armor. That's not even a big thing. It's mostly in lane. This guy's gonna raise you. He's gonna, like, if a Shadow Fiend's good at raises, you cannot survive. Even if you're level 6 with Chemical Rage, he can actually burst you from 100 to 0 with raises. Because he just gets some stacks on you and boom, you're dead. That's it. Like, and the thing about Shadow Fiend is that if you have stacks, if your team's stacked for you and this guy's smart, he's literally just gonna steal your stacks in 2 seconds with 2 raises, and there's nothing you can do about it. He's just gonna steal your farm, push down your tower, and just like completely destroy you in lane. And then the worst of all, Meepo, because Meepo, you don't kill him at all. Once he gets 2, 3 Meepos, he can actually kill you before you're level 6. He's just gonna root you, hit you a bunch of time, and do his little bullshit dance, and you're dead. That's it. And then Meepo's gonna farm a lot faster than you. He's gonna get a lot more XP than you. He might not get a lot more gold than you, but he's definitely gonna snowball the game. He's gonna start killing everyone with a blink dagger, and there's nothing you can do because you're gonna be AFK farming, and this is why. Why do you stream at least 4 hours for? Oh, I'm just making a guide right now. But yeah, Alchemist against Timbersaw is not that bad. Okay, so heroes that are honorable mentions are like, you know, like the Timbersaws, what's it called? Slardar, you know, like Beastmaster, you know, TA could also be kind of stupid. Arc Warden, Brood, Elk counters Brood, Lone Druid even. Like, these heroes are quite hard for Elk, but I would say it's still winnable. Like, a Timbersaw, what Timbersaw does is that, yeah, he harasses you, but 1, he doesn't push down your tower, and 2, you can ignore the guy. Like, this guy, what he does is that Timbersaw, like, harasses you, right? But then you just buy selves, because he only does this to you, and then he needs to, he tanks towers. He doesn't push your tower down right away. You can acid spray and push out the wave, and once you get level 6, you actually can't die to the guy. Like, your regen, you can also dispel this, by the way. Like, you know the strength minus strength, you can dispel it, so you literally gain HP back. Like, Timbersaw is not the worst matchup for Elk. Like, yeah, it's not fun to play against them, but in the mid lane, you're safe. There's not even that much trees for him to even go on, so I would say this is probably the worst. So now we're gonna talk about how you can win the lane against these heroes, right? So against QoP, I already said, you buy a shit ton of selves, right? You buy a lot of selves. Against Monkey King, Huskar, Razor, you go phase boots and windlace. You don't go power treads anymore. Also against QoP you go power treads. Against Morphling you go power treads, but the way how you have to play against Morphling is that, I'll be honest, bro, if your team doesn't have a burst like Lina, Lion, or some hero that or has some kind of hard stun, if you have like I had a game where I had Underlord, Venomancer, Alchemist, I think I had like a Juggernaut safe lane and a support CM or some shit like that. If you don't have hard stuns or magical nukes, I'll be honest, bro, if you're up against a Morphling, unless if this guy fucks up and he actually makes items that are good, like he goes like a Ethereal Blade, or he could even rush a Diffusal Blade and just kill you. Morphling Diffusal Blade is actually legit. There's actually no way to kill Morphling. You probably lost the game. Same thing with Meepo. If you guys don't have a innate Meepo counter like Underlord or Earthshaker or something like that, or like an Outer Titan, and then the Meepo's free farming, because that's what Alk does. He gives enemy heroes free farm, right? If you give a QoP free farm, she's scary, but it's still winnable because she's squishy and she can die. If you give a Monkey King Huskar, free farm is quite scary. If you give Meepo or Morphling free farm, it's kind of GG. So it just kind of depends on like how much the enemy hero cares about free farm. If they care a lot about free farm, now if free farm is really good for them, then you lose the game. What else is there? Shadow Fiend. The way how you counter Shadow Fiend, so I'll say Morphling and Meepo are borderline uncounterable as Alchemists, unless if they fuck up basically. So if they randomly feed, or if they don't pressure you enough, so like if they're not harassing you as much, or if the Meepo is not farming efficiently enough, if they're actual good players, you probably lost the game. Against Timbersaw, you just buy salves too. Against SF, it's kind of weird. So one, you don't want to make too many stacks, because if he's good, he's gonna steal your stacks, right? And two is that you're gonna buy a lot of salves, but the thing is, once he gets like level 2 raise or level 3 raise, you kind of have to just like, you kind of have to either don't go to the lane, or only come to the lane if he pushes into your tower. So if he does this and he goes jungle, or he follows you in, yeah, you can farm under tower. But if he doesn't do that, like if he's just sitting here and denying every creep, you actually cannot go back to lane. You have to just go jungle and get your level 6. So he's gonna be like level 7 while you're level 6, so that's bad. But you're gonna jungle, and then once you're at Chemical Rage, you can come back to lane. If he raises you the first time, you just stay where you are, because like you're gonna regen back up, and because he has to move to position his second raise, right? If he raises you once and then you start running away, he's just gonna follow up with the 2 raises and you will die. But if you're just sitting there, he has to adjust himself, and then by the time when he does, your Chemical Rage already healed you back up. So that's probably the best tip I can give you guys. And you know, for Monkey King and Huskar, buy phase boost and shit. Don't get too many stacks on you. As soon as you're getting stacks, just run away, dude. You're faster than them, right? Windlace, phase boost, and your Chemical Rage gives you movement speed. These are the hardest matchups. The easiest ones are like, you know, Broodmother, obviously. Tinkers are easy. Zeus is easy. What else is there? Pugna. Any magic burst, but that does not last on you for a long time, are very easy. So like Zeus, he's never gonna burst you from 100 to 0. Like he's gonna burst you a lot with like constant arc lightning damage and lightning bolt damage, but then you're just gonna regen it back up, right? If you don't have enough regens, buy a stick and salves. Just don't cheap out on the salves, guys. Like literally most matchups, unless if it's like, you know, as I said, like Razor or like heroes that can kill you from 100 to 0, as long as you're buying a lot of salves, you're not gonna lose the lane. And the thing about Elk is that he gets more gold, so he can afford to buy more salves. If you're gonna trade salves for XP, do it every time, and that's how you win as an Alchemist. But yeah, that's it for this guide, guys. If you enjoyed, please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the Twitch, check out the Discord, check out the Patreon, check out the anything and everything, boys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.